Israel launched an assault on Iran, specifically targeting the nation's nuclear program, intensifying the risk of a full-scale war between the two long-standing adversaries in the Middle East. This marked what seems to be the most substantial strike that Iran has endured since its conflict with Iraq in the 1980s. Numerous locations throughout were struck, notably including the Natanz facility, Iran's main nuclear enrichment site, where plumes of black smoke could be observed billowing into the sky. According to Iranian state television, General Hossein Salami, the commander of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, has been reported dead. This development represents a significant blow to Tehran's Shia theocracy. Additionally, several high-ranking military personnel and scientists were believed to have lost their lives in the attack. The strikes are expected to provoke a retaliatory response. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned that severe punishment would be directed at Israel. But who has the stronger military? Here's a comparison of Israel and Iran's armed forces. The Israeli army has a relatively small active-duty component. Most Jewish men and women serve 2-3 years. Men and women also serve reserve duty until around the age of 40. Iran boasts a population close to 90 million, in stark contrast to Israel's 10 million, giving it a considerable edge in terms of military personnel and reserve forces. However, statistics alone do not tell the whole story. Years of international sanctions have significantly restricted Iran's access to cutting-edge military technology. While Iran's conventional armed forces are sizable by regional metrics, they face challenges with a fleet of equipment that is becoming outdated. In contrast, Israel possesses a notable advantage with its air force, regarded as one of the most sophisticated globally. The bulk of the air force consists of jets Tehran ordered before the 1979 revolution, when the last Shah of Iran bought large numbers of US aircraft. Pertinent to note, the Iranian Air Force also flies obsolete Chinese combat aircraft. In 1991, a significant number of the Iraqi Air Force flew to Iran to evade destruction during that year's Persian Gulf War, and Tehran confiscated all. Since the Iran-Iraq War ended in 1988, Tehran has operated under international arms embargoes and other restrictions. Iran and Israel are distanced by over 1,000 kilometers, with Iraq and Jordan lying in between them. Consequently, a ground invasion appears improbable, leading both nations to depend on missile strikes as their primary means of warfare. Among the countries in the Middle East, Iran possesses one of the largest and most diverse missile inventories. In contrast, Israel boasts one of the most sophisticated missile systems in the region. Unlike Iran, Israel has sophisticated air defense systems. Israel's missile defense systems are broadly known under the name Iron Dome, but that's just one system. Iron Dome targets short-range rockets, the kind that are typically fired by Hamas in the Gaza Strip or by Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Arrow intercepts ballistic missiles in outer space, and that's why it is so important in the face of the Iranian threat. There's another missile defense system known as David's Sling that targets medium-range missiles. The Iron Dome has played a key role in defending Israel from rocket and missile fire from Iran and allied militant groups. The Iron Dome detects incoming fire and deploys only if the projectile is headed toward a population center or sensitive military or civilian infrastructure. On the other hand, Iran doesn't really have anything similar. Iran has some Russian S-300 surface-to-air missile systems and possibly one S-400. However, Israel's earlier strikes reportedly damaged the S-300 systems. And what about nuclear weapons? Israel's undeclared atomic weapons program makes it the only country in the Mideast with nuclear bombs. Sorek, near Tel Aviv, is a national lab for nuclear science established in 1958, engaged in nuclear science, radiation safety, and applied physics. Israel's nuclear facility at Dimona is believed to provide the fuel for the country's undeclared nuclear weapons program. American U-2 spy planes in 1958 confirmed the existence of Israel's Dimona nuclear complex, located in the Negev desert. In 1960s, inspections conducted by the U.S. at Israeli nuclear sites yielded minimal results, primarily due to the limitations imposed on the inspectors. Instead, much of what the outside world knows came from M. Vanunu, a technician who worked at Dimona and leaked details to the British press in 1986. For his actions, he was sentenced for treason and espionage and spent 18 years behind bars in Israel, 11 of them in solitary confinement. Many arms control specialists commonly agree that Israel initiated its nuclear program during the mid-1950s. Israeli warheads can be launched by air, through F-16 and F-15 combat aircraft, and by ground, through intermediate-range ballistic missiles like the Jericho-2. Israeli warheads can also be launched by sea, through US-made Harpoon missiles based on diesel-powered submarines or ships. One of Iran's key strengths in its conflict with Israel has consistently been its capacity to launch attacks via proxy groups. However, Iran's decades-long strategy of building an axis of resistance supporting militants around the region is falling apart. First came the crushing Israeli campaign in Gaza, triggered by the October 7, 2023, attack on Israel by Iranian-backed Hamas. Gaza was spawned another in Lebanon, where Israel has mauled Iran's most powerful ally, Hezbollah. And then, Iran's longtime stalwart ally and client in Syria, President Bashar Assad, took the Great Escape route. Syria's loss further weakened Hezbollah, whose powerful arsenal in South Lebanon had put Iranian influence directly on the border of its nemesis Israel. The speed of Assad's collapse showed just how reliant he was on support from Iran, which at the crucial moment didn't come. And after Trump returned to the White House, he ordered crippling U.S. air raids on pro-Iran Houthi rebels in Yemen.